Hello. Today at Wayward Wine, we're featuring a wine from the up and coming, very exciting region of the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia, Canada. Now, the Okanagan Valley exists and can grow grapes thanks mainly in part to the lake, a massive 84-mile long lake that runs from the south on the Washington border with the US, growing their Syrah, Merlot, Cabernet, and warmer climate grapes, running 84 miles all the way up to the north, where they can just squeak by growing things like cool climate Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, and sometimes Pinot Noir as well. And one of those wineries on the far extreme north, pushing roughly above 50 latitude. And 50 latitude, the parallel is, you're touching on the top of Champagne, higher than the Rheingau in some parts. It's basically as far north as you can go and still manage to grow grapes, only thanks to the lake that's there. One of the wineries that we went to, and one of the most challenging ones to make it to because it is just so wild up there and hilly, was this. O'Rourke's Peak Cellars, and our bus actually beached as we were trying to make it up to the winery. So we had to hike it about another 3 miles or so up the hill. And what we found there, and you'll see in the photo, was this crater that had been cut out all the way down to bedrock. And once they hit bedrock, they actually had carved at O'Rourke's 300 meters worth of tunnels to create a cellar program, to do bubbly, to age their wines in, and experiment with as well. And thankfully, caves are great. They're cool, they're damp, and they're dark, and the temperature is pretty constant there, which is perfect for basically growing up wine. And you can tell that there is a lot of construction going on there. Gorgeous patio being built with all these stands going up to overlook the lake that was crystalline, hanging there below the vines. And massive warehousing as well there. It's a huge output and growth there, a lot of construction going on. And that's clearly because Dennis O'Rourke, the founder, had his whole background in creating one of the larger construction companies in Canada. And he used that prestige and that money to start the winery really just a couple of years ago. O'Rourke Cellars they're new kids on the block, basically, in the Okanagan, and they're really pushing things. And to their credit, and to Dennis's credit, he is also one of the few owners to hire 2 women as winemakers. Not only Nikki Calloway, who had studied at the University of Bordeaux and various other regions in France and really knows her stuff, but also, surprisingly, one of the only wineries to have a native winemaker from the Okanagan, which was Stephanie Stanley. Stephanie, very fantastic person, really knows the local culture, really knows the local food scene that's there, and the vacationing scene that's there. And so credit to them. I think they really found 2 great winemakers that can really help keep the quality going and really take the wines in an interesting place. They make, up there because it's cold, a variety of cool climate grapes like Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Noirs that were concentrated and complex and rivaling things in Burgundy or cooler climates in Oregon. But what I really fell in love with on that day was what we just saw in a few seconds, their Chardonnay, their 2016 O'Rourke's Peak Cellars Chardonnay. And pretty fantastic thing. Of all the 100 acres that they grow there under vine, this is only a handful. And let's take a look at it. So medium minus intensity, gold, well, actually more like straw, lemon in color, fairly light color for Chardonnay. Aromatically, it's medium plus intensity, not pronounced, it's not overwhelming, but surprisingly delicate for Chard. Surprisingly filigreed. It's got lots of lovely citrus tones, a lot of lemon juice, Anjou pear, a little bit of melon, but not tropical, not overripe, not very fruity, not obnoxiously so, just very pleasant, complex thing. And luckily, even though I know it goes through malolactic fermentation, you're not getting a lot of that butter because there's still a lot of other acids there. And so instead, you get kind of more of a fresh cream note and slightly roasted almond from the oak barrique from France that they're using there. On the palate, it's dry, medium plus acidity, mouth-watering, but definitely not abrasively so. You know, it's not Chablis. We're not going to cut your palate with a bunch of acid. It's got just enough acidity there to keep you wanting more. The body there is medium in weight, thanks to the 13.5% alcohol. It has a nice viscous texture to it, very pillowy, soft texture, kind of plush. Yeah, just really, really delightful thing. And in terms of flavor intensity, I'd say medium plus. Like the nose, it's pretty present, but not overwhelming, not overly shouty, just very warm and inviting. Lots of that, again, fresh Anjou pear, maybe golden delicious apple, get that lovely note to it. Slight bit of honey going on as well. And again, that roasted almond, marzipan kick, and fresh cream, not butter, but fresh cream. That lasts for, so medium plus length. So yeah, overall, a very good example of Chardonnay with killer balance. This is really flexible wine. I would pair this with anything you do cream sauce with. It hold up pretty well. Anything you'd squeeze lemon on, this would also work pretty well with, you know, lightly prepared whitefish, maybe chicken dishes, that sort of thing. A chicken Alfredo would be pretty pleasant here. Or just a lovely, like, double cream brie. I wouldn't go triple with it, but a nice fresh double cream brie would be, on a cracker, would just be delightful. So, yeah, if you ever get the chance to cross the border, if it ever opens again, or you're in Canada, and you can hop up over to O'Rourke's Peak Cellars, it's definitely worth your while. It's kind of going to another planet up there, but it's pretty exciting as well. So thank you for watching, and keep drinking.